Yeah, looks good.
Thanks, guys. Okay. All right. So first thing we're going to look at is, I guess, that word secrets to begin with. Is there any secrets in our industry in terms of coaching, in terms of improving your business? I think a secret's only something if you probably don't know what it is to begin with, and everything's a bit of a secret. So hopefully I've got a few there for you tonight. If you've come across it before, hopefully it'll help you check or challenge a little bit and find out, okay, am I doing that? Am I doing it well enough? So let's get to work on it. So the first thing is, I guess, the reason I'm sat here this evening is that I want to share with you how I improved my coaching business over the last 20 years, kind of give you a bit of a whirlwind tour, and the main things that I use that I'd probably class as secrets, if you like, those things that I think gave me an edge over other people, or got more people inside the, inside my diary, really. So that's the main thing that I'm going to do. Alongside that, we're going to answer that question: is there a magic formula to get more people in your diary? Well, I'm not going to say there is, but I think I'm fairly close in terms of being able to fill a diary, not just for myself, but I think I'm getting close to a stage where I can pretty much do it for other people. That's a bit of a ballsy statement, but I think there is a bit of a formula out there just from a business perspective where we can start to get people in front of you. Whether we can keep them in front of you certainly goes out of my territory, but I think there's formulas as well that we can start to use for retention as well moving forward. So let me introduce myself to you guys. That I say know most of you on here, but let me kind of give you a bit of background. So my name's Steve Astle. I'm based up in Derby. I hopefully can relate to you. I'm a full-time golf coach, or I know some of you aren't full-time. You might be working a shop as well, but I'm a golf coach, freelance instructor. And yeah, that's pretty much me. And I guess I've kind of ended up in this position of working with a lot of pros around the world now, just by, I guess, just developing my business over the years and just almost looking at how I've done it and what I do and trying to continue to do it today. So that's pretty much me. I work with what we'd probably class as our regular punters on the ground. So I've had the luxury of working with some good level players. I work with the England girls squad at the moment, but the majority of my week is working with clients that you work with. I'm sure most of you. It's your club handicap golfer, your guy trying to get off 28, your guy that wants to get down to single figures, your lady that wants to get into the game, or play with the friends, the juniors, all those kind of things. That's where I sit at. So that's pretty much me. And let me tell you a little bit about my journey, I guess, to give you some background and some context. So I started out pretty much as a junior, came to golf quite late, 14, 15, I would say late these days. Old football, cricket growing up. Told I wasn't going to be tall enough at the age of 15 to play football. By the age of 17, I was playing professional basketball. So there's talent ID for you. And then really for me, the journey was, I went to college in the States, went that whole route, which I know a lot of you guys did as well. Realized probably about 2 or 3 years into that I was spending more time watching other golfers on the range, fixing their golf swings, than I was probably worrying about my own. I got more of a buzz of helping them and them go and shoot good scores than probably I was myself. And I was probably just struggling to deal with the frustration of playing high level Division I golf. And to be honest, probably looking back, not really ballsy enough to go do it. And that's what I would say. Could I deal with the pressure well enough? Probably not. And that's kind of, I guess, something I can reflect back on now and share with other people. So that was how I started out. So I drifted into the coaching world, came back to the UK, went into a municipal golf course and just fell in love with coaching. So as a second year trainee, I pretty much had a full diary already. I didn't know how. I think it was just through the passion of enjoying coaching, just wanting to help people, probably started to get some results, and they told their friends. And I still think that's probably going to be the number one way for all you folks sitting here this evening, that you're going to get people in the room is going to be with the results that you get, and they're going to refer you to their mates. Okay. So that's a pretty straightforward one for me. From there, I then went abroad. I'd always wanted to try my hand out in overseas. So I went to Austria, Germany, worked the seasons out there. Went to New Zealand, did a little bit over time over there as well. So just had a good experience, I guess, of seeing coaching across the planet. and just different formulas that were working there. So, for example, in Austria, I was in a 5-star high-end resort up in the mountains, different group of people every week coming through. So we used to sit and network on a Sunday evening in the hotel with nobody in your diary, and you had to try and fill your diary for the week. It was simple as that, and that was your window. So we'd try and invite them in on a Monday morning to go on to an entrance course or a free course for 2 hours, and then we'd try and sign them up for the week. And you could pretty much fill your diary 40, 50 hours a week just through them coming into the hotel on a Sunday evening. So that then shifted to New Zealand, completely different formula there, where it was probably, you could go play 3 rounds of golf for the price of 1 lesson. So again, you just had to adopt a different style of, I guess, just getting to know people and working in communities. Came back into the UK after doing this little round the world trip, and really just fell back into freelance coaching and started to build my business at a couple of different ranges. And by this time I was starting to take a real interest in my coaching and where I could move it going forward. I was still very passionate about wanting to deal with elite level players, and I wanted to coach on tour. That's where I sat at the time. So the real life-changing moment, I guess, for me, came in 2007 to begin with. We had our first child in 2007. And that was just a bizarre, for those of you that got kids, you'll know, a very bizarre experience. Okay, having your first child is a very strange experience. That was doubled or tripled for me because our child was born with a lot of severe medical conditions. And we found out about 3 or 4 months into that journey that he got a very rare condition and he needed a bone marrow transplant. So the nearest centre for that was Manchester, which is about 2 hours away from me. So I literally had to up my life and live in the hospital for 6 months. And then I used to come back down and try and coach on maybe a Monday or a Tuesday. I'd go back on a Wednesday, Thursday, I'd come back down on a Friday, Saturday. And that's how I worked for 6 months. So through that time period, just as you can imagine, my world flipped upside down. It's kind of like, how do I deal with this? What do I do? How do I keep my business alive? And that's really a real pivotal point for me, because I realized then that I needed to learn to manage my diary better. I needed to learn to maximize my income. I needed to try and be as slick as I could with my time to be able to market and know that I needed that security of 3 or 4 months down the line of still having business and people coming through. So that was the real pivotal moment for me. And as the kids got older, second one came along, it almost became a case of, I need to spend more time with my family. So how could I create that? Okay. So that's me with the gang there. That's Miko and Yanni, the kids. So yeah, that's just been, I had to change completely how I wanted to coach, and I flipped everything on its head and I went, okay, what do I want the future to look like? How many people do I want to coach every week? How much do I want to make every year? What kind of people do I want to coach? And that's basically when everything started for me to go, okay, I think I've kind of working this out a little bit, how I can start to get people in my diary and when I want to do this. Okay. So from there, I then started to develop the fact of, I guess I got a bit of a reputation for getting people in my diary and having a full diary. So at this current point in time, I say that's where I sit still, is with a pretty full diary. I think my next one is September now that I've got available, which is a nice problem to have. But I started to spend time dealing with other coaches and going, you know what, maybe I've got this little magic formula. Maybe I can share it with you. Let's see if it works for you. So I started to go into the world of mentoring and just helping other coaches, really. And I guess what I realized that it was pretty difficult for other coaches because they're all going through the same thing. And we've all fallen, well, a lot of us have fallen into an industry where we probably weren't set up for business to begin with. We were just pretty good at hitting a ball into a hole from a couple of 100 yards away. And then suddenly we end up in a shop and we end up coaching other people. And in my opinion, the PGA taught me how to put a grip on a club, but didn't teach me how to put people in my diary. And nothing against the PGA, but that's just kind of how I felt about it. I felt there was a space there in the market to help people. So that's kind of my story, and I guess where I'm at now. And almost the next stage for me was I spent then a lot of time going around the UK, setting up workshops. And there'll be some people in the room here today that have been in the workshops that I've delivered. And lovely feedback. Everything's great. I feel like I'm helping people. And you'll get this as with the golfers that you're working with as well. I then see those pros 6 months down the line and I go, how's your business doing? Yeah, I've got that stuff where I'm supposed to work on, but I've not quite applied it yet. Okay. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, is that I'm at a stage where I'm going, you know what, I want to work with you, more of you guys, and help you guys out to grow your business. But I realized, just like when I go to a gym and it lasts for about 2 weeks, you probably need somebody to hold your hands a little bit more and help you on that journey and answer some of those questions. So that's the reason for tonight, for almost jumping in front of you. And can I give you a kickstart to begin with? So what was tough about that? I'm going to throw a few things out here and see if you guys can relate to any of these, guys and girls. So this was one to begin with. Working late nights and early mornings, absolute killer. Next one, staying motivated, I found was very, very difficult. There's days where I was really up for it. Craig at the moment is really up for it. You can see that. But then it gets tough sometimes. You get into the winter months suddenly. And again, without being too morbid on this, but this could end up where, you know, furlough finishes, we could end up into winter, diaries could drop fast. What can we do to bulletproof ourselves to get ready for that? How can we stay as motivated as maybe we are now when the sun's shining and driving ranges and golf courses are absolutely packed? So days when I felt like I wasn't getting anywhere, I felt like, you know what, I need to do my social media. I know I need to do my marketing. I know I need to change my diary, but I just felt like I really wasn't getting anywhere with it. Wasn't sure if I was doing the right thing because there's nobody else in the industry really to turn to. I was having to look outside of the industry lots, into other businesses, into education. Just coaching hour after hour might sound like not a problem for some people, but trust me, for you guys that are going strong this summer, I'm seeing a lot of coaches doing 10, 12-hour days at the moment. You start to do that for a long time and that can become difficult because you can almost lose the concept of what you're trying to do and why you're doing it. You almost just become a bit of a cash machine, which again might sound great, but you can end up falling out of love with what you really wanted to do to begin with. Flip side of that, your diary going quieter. I don't know about you folks, but I used to get quite panicky when my diary did go quiet, when I had spells like that. Every September, I saw it drop, and I've now seen it for the last 10 years. So I know it kicks back in again in October, so it doesn't bother me. But without that information, I used to get a bit twitchy. I'm sure there'll be people on the call here tonight that you might be the sole provider in the family, you might have young kids, and just the ballpark changes. And so when that diary goes quiet and you're self-employed, it can feel quite a pressure on you. Doing it on my own, which I've already mentioned, I think was one of the toughest things, that you didn't have somebody sometimes to bounce things off. Or if you did, they maybe weren't on the same page as you, which could be quite difficult also. So that's what I found tough to begin with. Can anybody relate to any of those? Do me a favor, jump on your chat. And if there's any on those that have really picked anything out for you, whether it's my story or whether it's anything that was tough there, do me a favor, pop them in the group chat for me. Give me some feedback on which things you really feel that are the biggest bugbears for you. It's a good start, Stuart. Yeah. And I think it's really important to share this stuff because, like I said, you're all coming on here this evening thinking, oh, has Steve got it sorted and everybody else has got it sorted? No. Okay. I don't think anybody's got it sorted. I think it's just powerful to share this. So we've got work-life balance. We've got staying motivated, not sure if I'm doing the right thing, long hours. So we've got a difference here between Rob Watt said, coaching hour after hour. Yeah, you know, we look at people and thinking, yeah, successful, but it's great that you can relate to some of those things. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip this across. And how could your business improve? That's my next question that I want you to respond to. So I'm going to put some up here for you. Do you want more students? Do you want more time off? Would you like to make more money? Would you want more enjoyment from your job? Do you want more security in what you do? Difficult as self-employed if you're not getting that salary through every month. Any others that you feel that I've missed there? How could your business improve? If you walked off this call today, what would you really love to be able to pin down and go, you know what, I'd love that if that was better? Yeah, great stuff. Anyway, any more you want to add to that? Having time to do it all, Adam. Yeah. To recruit other coaches. Lovely. Yeah, more security, Dan. I get that. Thanks, Craig. Money, enjoyment, security, not enough time. So they're all things that are really, it's great because now I go, okay, that's how I feel. And that's how you guys feel as well. That's nice to know that. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do now, let's get in and try and give you something a little bit. Still some more coming in. That's great. Money, but on a consistent basis. Absolutely, Dan. Could not agree more. More money from a time. How to be better at booking people 2-3 weeks down the line. So they're cramming in 1 week. Absolutely. I think that's difficult at the moment now. Everything's coming at you thick and fast. You feel like I've got to take it. You know, everybody keeps saying make hay while the sun shines. But again, can we help out with that a little bit? Okay. So let's start to give you a little bit of something this evening, hopefully. Secret number one, I've already worked on you guys. Okay. All I want you to do from my story, just put a yes in the chat group again. If anything I said during my story at the start related to you, if you felt like, yep, I've got a connection there, that's me. And that might be that you went to college in the States. It might be that you've worked abroad. It might be that you've got kids that you struggle with. We all might be able to relate to that in our own little ways. Fabulous. So straight away, we've got some people there that can relate to where I'm coming from. And I think we can start to relate to each other. So that's my first secret, is tell your own story, which I don't think a lot of you do because you're maybe not sure how to do it or what you should be doing. But actually sharing your story is a really powerful thing, whether it's on social media. And that doesn't mean you have to show pictures of your family. Okay. It doesn't mean that you have to show what you had for dinner, but I think what you can start to do is just start with that just to begin with, just telling the truth. That's always the best story that you can tell. And it might be, you know, starting to share with people what your day was like today, which football team you support. You know, it could be anything of those nature, but can you start to relate to people is just the biggest secret I can give you straight away out of the box. So when I put on there, how mad is your life? That's probably what I share with people. The amount of clients I've had come through this week, and as I've been following my tent updates on Instagram, I spend most evenings in a tent in the garden with my lad or in the living room. So if you've seen those, again, that's pretty much how mad my life is. I share that with people. I don't want it to look like it's perfect. And I think my clients appreciate that it's real. I'll have new clients come in that start chatting about what they've seen on my social media. So don't be scared of that. Don't try and show this polished, perfect look. I think being real, telling the truth, and however mad it is, tell that story with people. I think through telling my story, I found as well, probably the bonus of this was I actually got to know myself better, and I was able to reflect on things a lot more. So through telling my story, I started to realize who I wanted to coach, when I wanted to coach, where I wanted to be in the future with it. So I think you'll find it quite a powerful thing as well once you start to do it. And probably what you stand for as well, when you start to put that message out there every day. If you stand for amazing customer service and you can show that day in, day out, if you stand for being consistent and you post every day, then I think that's, you're starting to back up then who you actually are, and there'll be people out there that can really relate to that. Okay, I'm going to zip you through these fairly fast. So secret number 2, database is king, absolutely every time. Okay, so do me a favor right now, go to your comments again, give me a score out of 10 how good you are with your database. It's a 0 if you've not got one. Scott's gone in at a 1. Does that mean you've got one, Scott, and just don't use it? Oh dear. If this was a golf scorecard, it'd be all right. Okay. Good, good, good. Okay. So again, you're not on your own, folks. Okay. So if you get nothing else out of today, out of this evening, get that database sorted. So interesting there, Tom, you put that Lee Cox #1 phrase. Absolutely. And there's a busy guy. There's no surprise. Okay, so your database is absolute king, just because that's where you can start to get people into your world. Okay, so once you've got that, there's the next bit. Look after it, clean it, organize it, and use it. So what I mean by that is that so for example, let me give you an example. Everybody that's on this webinar this evening, you've already got a tag in my database. You're sitting in there under a certain section. So if I want to reach you, I can reach you. Okay. Now you might be tagged under several other areas. Some of you might have followed me for Pro Visualizer. Some might have been on a workshop that I've done earlier in the year. Some might have come at me about Facebook groups. So that way I can constantly get to where I need to, and I'm not just sending mass blanket emails out all the time. The other thing is, I would say that's down the line stuff. The first thing is make sure you grab people's data. It's probably one of the biggest things that I see done not very well. I think the modern coach, I ask a lot of coaches these days, have you got a database? Yep. Where'd you keep it? Well, it's on my phone. It's phone numbers. And they see that as the database, in that they can send somebody a WhatsApp and that's going to get the job done. But what's really difficult in WhatsApp is you're not on your site, you're on somebody else's territory. It can be difficult, certainly in group messages, to see who's read it. And I know a lot of people, I don't know about you guys, but a lot of my WhatsApp groups do get kind of ignored if there's a mass number of people in there. So I'd certainly get into looking after it. Here's my next thing within database. What you don't want to do is just go, okay, Steve says I need to get a database. I'll go and buy one. Somebody's selling one online for 5,000 people. So go make sure it's the right people to begin with that are on your database. So if you're a club pro, looking at Cam in the room tonight, I'm sure Cam is just capturing data for fun of those people coming in the shop, aren't you, Cam? Good man. Okay, but for coaches, I think it's difficult sometimes because there's somebody just books in, you take the name, maybe they messaged you, and it doesn't go anywhere else. It just ends up sitting on your phone. So definitely go look for the right people and make it as organic as possible. So the people that are on your database should really be golfers that are serious about wanting to potentially have a golf lesson with you, or you've got a database of golfers that have had a golf lesson with you. Non-negotiable for me on that, the database. What's really important is, and I say this here, don't try to jump them straight to your base. So what I mean is, if you end up with somebody's details, that shouldn't be then a hard email going, come for a lesson. The first email, for example, might be, hi, I'm Adrian. Thanks for checking in and dropping your details in. You know, if you need anything, here's where I'm at. Why don't you give me a follow on social or jump into one of my Facebook groups? Okay. So I'm not going to talk too much about funnels and things tonight, but I think that's something that you need to look into, because that's the world we're talking about there, is how do I start to put people into different funnels. An interesting one that I see a lot with golf pros. Now I'm going a little bit off tact here into marketing, but it's how about you converting people into your database. But as pros, we have a major thing of marketing to ourselves. And what I mean by that is we go, well, I won't buy that, so I'm not going to put that advert out there. Or I've posted it once, I'm not going to post it again because the people will think I'm annoying them. Okay. So because you think like that doesn't mean everybody else thinks like that. Okay. So what we need to start to do is use that database, to use our proven systems to go, this is how I can get people into my diary in a long term. And I'm going to step away from doing what I like or what I think works for my colleague next to me. Okay. So don't market to yourself. Stats. Okay. For any good coaches in the room, Rob Watts, big stats fan, you've got to have those stats on your database figures as well. Okay. So for those that have been on my workshop, you can put a number down here, or for those that use in fact, to begin with, again, use the comments, guys. Tell me what you use for a database right now, whether it's Excel, whether it's phone, whether it's MailChimp, Constant Contact. Put it down on the screen again for me. Let me know what you use. Okay, cool. Excel, MailChimp, Setmore, MailChimp. So MailChimp's very popular. Okay, fab. So for MailChimp then, here's the question for you. What's your open rate on MailChimp? Or even anybody, database in general, what's your open rate? Pop me a number down there, what you think your open rate is. some big numbers coming in. So to give you an idea, those numbers that people have put on the screen there, 60, 60, 60, 45, 68, it's huge. They're massive numbers. Okay, if you've got that many people opening on your database, they're absolutely massive. I'm probably at about, similar to Ryan Grumbridge down now, about 38%. Okay, is all that opens off my list. So what I need to know then, because of that, that's great that you guys know what your numbers are, and that's awesome if you're getting that kind of uptake. Okay, next number, write me down on the screen how many people are on your database. Now, for some of you, you're going to have club numbers. That was simple, Cam. Okay, good stuff. Andrew, brilliant. 3,000. Love it. So that's the kind of numbers that you guys should be looking to attain. If nothing else, if you went, you know what, I'm going to step off this call with Steve and I'm going to try and get my numbers and add another 100 to them, another 100. Andrew Agnoli, love it. 900,000 and 15% opening. That's the world of top golf for you. Okay. And I pretty much guarantee, Andrew, you can drop me a reply on here. I guess that's one of your major things that you do. I know I've worked with you guys, but database is king down there, isn't it? Okay, so this is how I look at it in our industry. Each person that sits on your database is probably worth about £2 to £3 per month to you. Okay, so if you do the numbers right now, I imagine it won't be a million miles away in terms of that's the amount of money that comes through from your database on average per year. And if you also take that number and you're very good retention, that might be up around £3 to £4 per month per person that sits on your database. And in which case, what you can start to do is then go, okay, so does this work by the more people I get on there, the more money I make? Yes, more than likely. Okay. So if you're sitting there with 200 people on your database, Craig, and you can get it to 400 golfers, then you're probably going to double your income. Okay. So that's something certainly worth thinking about. And that's how I think about it. Every person whose data I can capture, that's worth another £3 a month to me. Okay. Secret number 3, and I learned this one a lot later, I think down the line, would be your dream customer. Okay, so to begin with, if I'm not going to get you to write that down yet, who do you want to coach? Okay, who would you desperately want to coach if you could? In fact, now let's put it on the screen. Come on, you're sharing, let's share some more. Do you know the answer to that question right now? Who would you want to coach? Rob Watts, we've had this conversation about, I don't know, about 18 months ago, and I know who you want to coach and I know what their goal is. And that's great because you were so clear about it. Tell you what, Cam, there'll be some money there, mate. If you want to coach me, a few lessons there for you. Good. So we've got the average golfer, people willing to practice, anyone's invested in getting better long term, people who want to learn, people who want to improve. Great. Okay, so I would say there's a lot of good ones there. Katie, want to work with lady players. Good. Love it. Dane, want to work with some tour players. Brilliant stuff, guys. I would recommend, again, if you don't know the answer to that one, then that's something you really need to go look at and be really clear with. Okay, because that's going to start to drive you where you're going to go with your marketing. So once you know who you want to coach, then you can find their pain point. And what I mean by that is, this could be, let's say, for example, let's pick somebody off the list here. Let's say, I take Katie's, ladies. So if you can find out what their pain point is to begin with, then you can start to find who your dream customer is. So the pain point for ladies might be, actually, I don't enjoy playing golf on my own. I want to play with a group of people. Or it may just be that, actually, I want to find other good female players that can improve my game as well. So it's finding what their actual pain point is going to really help you. But if you don't know who you want to coach, then it's very hard to find their pain point. So this is something I started to do, is that after I kind of I say walked away is the wrong word, but I moved out of the area of working with elite level players. I would say I still work with a few. I'm privileged still to do that, but that wasn't the market I was chasing anymore, because I wanted to get to a position where I could take my kids to school, go to work, coach for 4 or 5 hours, and then pick my kids up from school again, or maybe just work a few hours in an evening. So for that, I know the person that I wanted to coach was the person who'd got their own business, who was pretty flexy when they could come in, or somebody who was retired and had got disposable income. Okay. So the pain point around those people was probably going to be things such as, it might be that they're missing business deals at work. It might be that they've retired and they had a high flying job and they're missing that level of importance, or they're missing the challenge. But once I can start to become obsessed about who that person is, I can start to build an avatar for that person. And within that avatar, I start to know where these people hang out, as in, are they on Facebook? Are they on Instagram? I can find out pretty much, who their friends are, what kind of clubs they play, all those kind of things. I can start to build a real precise avatar about the type of person that I want in my diary, that's going to make my life easier or more interesting to coach. And then I can start to market towards those people. Whereas I think, again, I would, tell me if I'm wrong, but we tend to market to ourselves, or we market to everybody. It's pretty much how, if we do any marketing, it works. Okay. We laugh at our clients all the time when they come in and say this, I just want to be consistent, but that's really what you've got to be. If you want to grow your coaching business as well, you've got to keep, if you're going to post and you're going to do it every day, then you've got to do it every day. Okay. If you decide that this person is the person that you want to coach and you're going to become obsessed about the avatar, then again, you've got to be consistent with what you're doing. So I don't need to really harp on that one. That's pretty simple. Next thing you want to do is go find who coaches your dream customers. Go find them on social media, go follow them, go find out how they market to their people. Okay. So you're not going to go rip off everything they do and copy their posts, but you're going to model yourselves on how they're getting people there. So if I was playing YouTube, I'm going to go follow Me My Golf, Chris Ryan, Mark Crossfield, Rick Shields, all those guys, because I know that they clearly got a formula that is working. I want to find out what that formula is. I want to see how they're doing it, and then I'm going to go and hack it. Basically simple as that. Okay. So who coaches your dream customers? Go find those people and start to build that into avatar. Any questions on that? I'm going to stop for a second. Any question you got so far, guys, that you want me to come to at the end, please pop them down there. Okay. Let's jump into secret number 4. Social marketing. So this is something I've been hearing a lot lately. I think a lot of coaches out there think, you know what, I've not got a TrackMan, I need to go get one. I've not got a studio, I need to go get one. But you're still going to have this big issue. If you build it, they're not necessarily going to come. Okay, so Cam, I'm going to use an example here now. You've put a lovely brand new studio in there. So now the next problem is how do I get people in it, isn't it? And on what kind of basis I want, how do I want to leverage that? How am I going to leverage my database to get them in there? So whatever you do with that, you still need the skills to help people find you. Simple as that. We'd all love to live, I think, off just word of mouth. But it's not as simple as that. I think in this day and age, there's a lot more competition out there, and you've got to really be able to get smart at your social marketing. The first thing you need to do is play the long game, though. So what I mean by that is that I'm probably trying to find a client now that maybe I'm going to work with in 12 months' time. Great if they fall into my diary this week, fantastic. But I know it's probably going to take about 7 hits or 7 points of contact with that person before I end up working with them. So to do that, I've got to be consistent. I've got to be prepared to play the long game, and I've got to continuously just keep going at that same avatar, that at the people that I want to work with. So there's 2 ways I can get at those people, and we're talking a bit social media here. I'm either going to try and interact my way in with those folks, and what I mean by that is that could be that I find my avatar of people. I know where they hang out. You know what? I'm going to go in there and just like some of their posts. I'm going to interact with them, maybe give them a few tips. Okay. So give you an analogy. It's like walking into somebody's house and they're having a party. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go walk in there first. And once I've kind of sussed out the type of people that I want to chat with, then I'm probably just going to go and chat with those type of people. Okay. That's how I see social media. I'm literally going in there just trying to create relationships with some folks. Now, the next step from there is that, daft as it sounds, I want to hold the party at my house. That's the next thing. And what I mean by that is that I want to create somewhere where I can to almost guide the conversation, or if I want to sell, I can sell based on my terms. So that's how I'd interact my way in. That's your cheapest way to do this. Okay. But you need to put the legwork in. The other way that you can do it is you can buy your way in. Okay, so if you said, you know what, I want 50 of those people that fit my avatar and I could really do within my diary in the next 3 months, then you need to go buy them. And you need to know how to get to those people, whether they're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, wherever they are. That's a tougher way to get it. But again, I think that's part of the formula I've got down at the moment, is that I think I can get those people. So interact your way in is definitely the easier way. So as I said, you need to know where they hang out. And then once you know where they hang out, you need to fish in the right pond with the correct hook. And what I mean by that is you need to learn to start to attention grab. Okay. So that's a skill itself to kind of work on. How do I grab somebody's attention? Do I just wave at them from a distance, or can I start to put the right things in front of them? Okay. So for you guys sat in the room this evening, somehow I've managed to get your attention at some point and get you into this room this evening. Okay, so there's several ways I've gone about it. I'm not going to say that, but that's how it works. And it's the same thing for the members at your golf club. At some point in time, you've either interacted your way into their lives, or you've bought your way in through advertising. Okay, so if you can start to fish in the right pond with the correct hook, i.e. you can grab attention in the right way, then you've got a real chance. Because what I see again is a lot of people going into the wrong pond with the incorrect hook, if that makes sense. So it might be they want to teach seniors, but they're asking people the wrong question. Do you want to hit it further? Or, well, again, that might be right for some seniors, but they're asking the wrong question at the wrong time. So that's the other thing with social marketing, is doing it at the right time. So do you know, again, your stats? Do you know when most people interact with you on Twitter? Do you know when most people interact with you on Facebook? Do you know when most people book lessons? Okay, my biggest one is like Sunday evening. I will get lessons booked in tonight when the golf's on, and the online booking system will start lighting up. And because I know that, then I can start to do my marketing days before that to almost hook those people ready to book it. So again, those stats are all sitting there for you pretty much on social media. You just got to go find them. Okay, some good questions coming there. I'm going to go to those again, guys. Okay, I'm going to say it again. Don't market to yourself. Okay, so here's a couple of different hooks that I'll just show you. Just attention grabbing things that I thought were pretty cool. Left-hand side there, I think that was a world, might be an RSPCA, something like that. I think it was a world WWF thing. And then obviously the right-hand screen is pretty self-explanatory, but that might hit somebody at the right time and get them a sale. Pretty cool one I came across yesterday on the left-hand screen. I thought this guy, thought outside the box a little bit. Great hook. And again, barbershop at the moment, yeah, you almost know his business is going to be good. So here's something to think about when you do think about the hooks, okay? Are you trying to take people away from pain, or are you trying to move them toward pleasure? So if you think about that, okay, are you tired of your playing partners hitting it past you? What am I doing there? Am I moving somebody away from pain, or am I moving them towards pleasure? In that situation there, I'm taking somebody away from pain. They're tired of their playing partners hitting it past them, okay? Now, the opposite of that is I could market, do you want to hit the ball further? I'm taking somebody towards pleasure. But in our industry, I'll guarantee you this one, the away from pain, is probably going to get you better results than trying to take them towards pleasure to begin with. So the next example down could be, are your children getting bored this summer? Trust me, the pain of that at the moment of children. Okay. Whereas we tend to go, we've got a summer camp on. Okay. Junior golf, but it might be actually you need to sell the pain that you can take people away. Find the pain point first to be able to sell your summer camps. Okay. This is the other way around here. So this could be a towards pleasure. Are you missing out on business deals? Could be pain also. Or then that last one, a fun way to stay in shape. So you're moving somebody there towards pleasure. The flip side of that could be you find that you're, not keeping fit since lockdown or whatever it might be, missing out on your walking. But to always think about that when you're marketing, your wording, what your strap line's going to be and the hook that you're going to get to grab people's attention to begin with. And almost maybe the image that you use as well. So I'll spend most of my day, if I see something that I go, oh, that's pretty cool, then I'll just take a picture of it and I might snap it and then come back to it in a couple of days' time, put a tagline on it and post it up. It might be a page out of a book I've read or something like that. Okay. Last one for you. You got plenty to go at so far. Secret number 5 is very simple. It's going to hurt a few of you, this one. Get organized. Okay. See a few smiles on the screen. Honestly, we try to wear about 74 different hats sometimes, and then what we do is lose complete focus on really where the core of our business probably is. Okay, so here's what I'm going to ask the golf coaches straight away in the group. When is your diary open? Anybody that sat down and had dinner with me will know this is one of my biggest bugbears, because I see coaches' diaries open from 8 in the morning till 8 at night. And then I go look at their diaries and I go, yep, I wouldn't book a lesson with you because you've got 6 hours free in that diary next week. Whereas what you probably need to do is go, you know what, I'm going to open it from 8 till 12. And then when it's full, I'm going to open it from 12 till 2. Okay. So you're constantly looking busy. You're playing a real game of supply and demand. There's coaches that I've seen this week I've been on their websites and their online booking systems don't work. Again, I've just been running a mile straight away. So one little trick that you can do this evening when you're done on here, see how quickly you could book a lesson with yourself, how many clicks it would take to go find yourself, maybe how quickly you could find yourself on Google, but then how quickly you could book with. Trust me when I say advertising that you can book online to somebody and then they get to fill out a comments form and you'll phone them back by Tuesday is not booking online. Okay. So if somebody books a lesson with you this evening, they send you a contacts thing, they end up playing golf tomorrow morning, they hit it all right again, that's coming out of the diary. They're not going to follow up with you. So you need to be ready for those people. Cannot say enough about online diaries. I'm not going to recommend one over the other because there's so many good ones out there now. You just need to find something that works for you. Setmore, Acuity, USchedule, 24/7. There's so many. We use Appointment Plus. Go research them. Go throw it into one of our Facebook groups and ask the question. You'll get lots of good answers coming back. If you're not doing a whole lot of lessons at the moment, you probably don't have to pay anything for one. You can just get them integrated. Dane there, brilliant. Getting online booking was the best thing I did during lockdown. Absolutely. I had a coach, I don't know if they're on the call tonight, actually, but I had a coach on a call this week who was probably he was the busiest he's ever been, and he was probably spending 4 hours a week trying to sort next week's diary out and the week after that, because he was busy coaching all day, and then he'd come home to 7 text messages, 4 voicemails, play tag with somebody for a little bit. Very difficult. So when is your diary open? When are you posting? When are you posting on social media? Get organized with it. Should be 20 minutes in your diary every day. If you don't play social media, choose one and go play it really well, but make sure that one aligns with your chosen avatar of people that you want to coach ideally. Okay, so all the questions I'd ask you, get organized here. So what are your plans for the winter? Anybody focusing on that at the moment? Or are you just trying to fight the fire of all those people in front of you? If you book that overseas trip in for February, it might not go ahead with situations like that, but I get it nailed down. People have come out of lockdown and they are going, you know what? I really want to go fulfill some of those bucket list things that I always wanted to do. I'm very confident most of you could go fill a Augusta trip right now. Okay. So what are your plans for the winter? How are you going to carry these clients that you've got at the moment into winter? Where are you taking your VIP clients? Okay, what experiences have you got put on for them? Those people that are spending a lot of money with you at the moment, how are you going to build that alliance with them? How are you going to make them big fans of yours? When are you marketing? Super busy at the moment. when you're going to have all this stuff that I've chucked at you tonight, when you're going to do it? That gets tough again, and that's where it gets kind of put by the wayside. Can you open up 2 hours on a Monday morning and go, you know what, I'm not opening my diary then, that's when I mark it. I'm going to do it every week at that time and have a clear picture of what I'm going to do. You know, use apps to help you with these things. Go back to the social media. You know, I've put a few posts out on social last week. Use Buffer, use Hootsuite, use things like that. Go write your tweets this evening for the week, put them in there. They're going to fire out. They might just be general things, you know, asking people to contact you, or a few quotes that you've seen, inspirational stuff. And then you can tie a few bits in of your own. When you've been on the range that day, take a picture. Who am I seeing on the call tonight? Ashley Jones on the call tonight. Brilliant. Ash done an awesome job through lockdown. Still running your weekly quiz, aren't you, Ash? Love it.
Still going, mate.
Good man. Brilliant. You've done an awesome job with them. That's why you've come back into a full diary. So when are you marketing? What's your budget? Okay. I asked the question, I think, on social media of the week, and there was a large percentage of golf pros, way above 50%, that don't have a marketing budget at all, because we want to make a lot of money and don't want to spend much. Yeah, I very much work by the fact of, if you spent £100 and made 110, surely that's a good investment from it. So if you could spend 200 and get 220, surely that's a good investment as well. Sometimes it's hard to fully manage that and see, you know, and see the clear, yeah, there's 200, there's 220, but a lot of you won't have even been into that world yet to begin with. Or what I will say is that you've put £20 on Facebook and you've told everybody it doesn't work, because that's kind of what your experience was. Okay, I'm going to say it again to you, just be consistent. Okay, it's the biggest message I can throw out this evening. So again, if you're going to put a budget on every month, go do it every month. Go give it 12 months at marketing, see how that works. Okay, so as I said to you earlier, I spent a lot of time traveling around Europe and the world now, delivering these kind of talks to golf pros. And what I've found is that they're all coming back with the same answers as you guys did this evening, which is great to let you know that you're not outside the box anywhere different. And even when you do get the right information, you're probably looking for somebody maybe to go on that journey with you a little bit, to help you, support you. And that's what I've tried to put together for you this evening as well. So if nothing else, take these things away, take these 5 things away. But what I have set up now is a mentoring program for coaches like yourself. So I've got over 20 coaches sitting at the moment, working them in certain areas. So that mentoring program works on a monthly basis. I'm not going to get too much into it right now. What I am going to say to you is that if you want to do something today, you've got to take action. It's simple as that. Or else you're going to be here with me in about 6 months' time again, going through the same conversation. So that's what I'm going to offer you this evening. Okay. If you want to book a 20-minute free call this week with me to discuss what you need to put in place to move your business forward, if you feel that you want some mentoring, all you need to do right now is go straight to my WhatsApp or text, put your name on it, and put 5 secrets next to it. That's all you need to do. And then I'll come back at you. Let's arrange a time this week for 20 minutes where we can really get down into the detail of how I can help you and support you. Okay? So while I see a few people picking the phones up, while those that are doing that, I'll show you a couple of case studies of pros that I've been working with. So here's Sam Pitcairn, based down in Kent. Sam I've been working with now for about 12 months. We threw him onto a more detailed mentoring program last year. He's had 75 leads in time now, and just moving people onto 6-month programs, and probably made about $3,000 out of it, which is great. Also we got Pete Arnott, you guys that know Pete, who's a very good, if you don't know Pete, get to know Pete, very good with constraints-based coaching, people to get decisions, and getting people to solve problems. So I worked with Pete, and what we did with Pete was Pete found it a bit crackers, because what we did was we got him to put his prices up, and he just absolutely panicked. But we got him to put his prices up, work less hours, and turn the people that were his regulars into coaching programs. And he signed up 30 new clients, and about 16 grand's worth of coaching from 2 emails. Okay. So that was Pete, and I'll show you one more. I have to think about things. You know, Dave Fulcher over at Edgbaston Golf Club. I think what Dave's put at the top here is probably what a lot of you told me tonight. lost focus on your lessons. Maybe some of you not seeing the growth in income you want to achieve. And we did a similar kind of thing with Dave. We started to put some programs in place. And again, overnight, he signed up 37 clients, a total of 18,900. Now, I'm not going to say to anybody here, I'm going to stick 20 grand on the bottom line for you tomorrow. But what we do is we work with those people to really help put something in place and for me to walk that walk with you. I've also got a few other secrets in there that I'm not going to share with you because they are for the clients that pay me monthly. So I'm not going to go there with you. Okay, so from my perspective, amazingly for me, I've finished on time. Okay. Type in any questions that you've got for me, guys. Anything that you would like to chat about right now, anything you want to look at. Okay, so I'm going to go through some of the questions that we got from earlier, just if there's anything there we want to figure out. Okay, Craig just sharing some stuff there. 10 guys paying £10 for group lessons, better than 1 hour working hard with a golfer wanting to get better. Yep, and again, depends if you want that golfer who wants to get better is in your chosen avatar, then in which case you maybe got to weigh up that works. Stuart, how often would you send out to your database? I think it varies again. It depends which database. So for you guys, I've probably sent 2 or 3 times in the last couple of weeks. For my day-to-day clients, it might be once a quarter. It's probably twice a year. It might be even just when I'm trying to get ready for them to go on to coaching programs. Okay. I'd recommend if you're not keeping in touch with them, then do a monthly at the moment. Just touch base monthly with them just to keep them ticking over. Dan, Steve, how often would you send something out to your database on MailChimp? Same thing. Tom, 1 month ahead, set weekly times, good. Okay. Getting online booking, we already talked about. Pro Agenda. Start promoting abroad trips. Nice one, Craig. YT, you don't know your dream customer. So again, that's something you need to take away tonight and have just a real think about, actually, who do you love coaching? Who do you really enjoy working with? And are they in front of you? Are those people in your face and you can actually, you know, get to know them a little bit more? So yeah, think about that one. It might be several dream customers that you have. It might be, you know what, I love working with developing juniors and I enjoy working with new to the game beginner golfers. And then you can really start to pitch. So if you like to work with beginner golfers, then you need to spend your energy and your time in the buying in probably. You need to go recruiting because they're not sitting in your golf club. Okay, but they're the people again at certainly this current point in time, we've got loads of new golfers coming in. Certainly the leads I'm getting in for pros, a lot are coming from newbies. Okay, also we got how to attract clients at a new venue. Great question, Adrian. I think we all think that when we move site, that everybody will go with us. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. From my experience, it's very low, the numbers that go with. I think that, so how to attract clients at a new venue. Yeah, social media would be biggest. And then how can you go capture people's email addresses? As simple as that. How can you build your database? It all sits in that for you. How to attract clients at a new venue. And then just put things on. It might be open evenings. It might be, you know, that you offer, again, just people that are at the venue. So you're talking here, Adrian, probably people that attract clients at a new venue. If they're already, I'd walk the range first of all. That's probably one of the biggest things that I don't see pros do is walk the range. Go walk the range and offer to film their swing for them. Okay, so I'll film your swing and I'll send it across to you by email. Give us your email address and I'll send it to you. What a great add value service you've given to somebody and you got their email address. Okay, so they're the type of things that I'd be looking at, but most of them are in your face already. How often would I see regular customers? Whatever is best for them. So I don't have a time period on that, Cam, to be honest with you. Most people, it's certainly not same time next week. I don't do 6 for 5 packages. I only sell programs. So it would be usually the most intense would be 2 hours per month. If somebody wants to see me every week and I could get them in the diary, then yeah, but I would work around them, Cam, and almost let them, and if they're going back to me, I don't know, then I'll do what I think is ethically best for them. And usually there's a bit of a gap in there where they can go away and practice it. But I do have coaches that work with people weekly because they almost see that as, okay, I'm going to come in and use that as my practice time as well during that time period. Cool. Good. What else have we got? Tom, is there something in selling packages ahead of a tough winter once furlough finish? Yes. Yes, to answer that question. Get your packages in place. get people to commit through the winter. I'm not going to go too much into packages with you this evening, but if you've not been down that avenue, I'd recommend it. But you really need to get those ready to go at the right time. And if you can already convert your people into packages now, they're already in that mindset of that's what they do. I say packages, programs. I'm going to change your language there. Me and Tom Fearon had a great chat about this the other week. Packages for me is your discounting. Program is that you're reaching my pain point and you're really going to help me get to where I want to get to. Fabulous. Any more folks? 8:59. That's impressive. You all told the other half you'd be done by 9 o'clock, and you might be on schedule. Let me just pull you up on full screen here. Okay, so folks, from that perspective, just not expecting any more there. My chat's on a different side here. Cool. I'm just going to answer that one, Lau. With programs, do you all set up direct debits and tie-in? Don't know what the guys are doing. I set standing orders rather than direct debits, because if that person's not happy, I'm more than happy for them to walk away, to be honest with you. I don't want to tie anybody in. And same with the mentoring programs that I do. I don't tie anybody in to, you're signed up for 12 months. If it works for me and it works for them and it works for the clients, then everybody's happy with it. And that's pretty much where I'd go. Okay. Anybody else want to ask any more questions? Folks, those of you that have got in touch with me, I can see there's quite a few of you, thank you. I will get back in touch with you ASAP. Those of you that want to reach out another time, please do so. I hope you've got something there this evening that you can really run with moving forward. And yeah, just have a brilliant summer, guys, and keep in touch and keep doing what you're doing. Thanks for checking in this evening.